Oh my goodness. I have a very exciting Paralives update for you today. We've got some juicy new info straight from the team themselves, and not only are we finally getting a look at the design process behind the town our pairs will be living in, but there's also a full-on build showcase for a house from the gorgeous Old Town district. So buckle up, besties, because we're going exploring. Let's get to the good, shall we? First of all, when Paralives hits early access later this year, yes, they're still aiming for 2025, our pairs won't be dropped into some random disconnected map. Nope. No, sir. They'll be moving into a thoughtfully crafted, fully explorable open world town. And y'all, it's already looking so good. Alex from the dev team confirmed that the town will be open world, which means, drumroll please, no loading screens between lots. That's right, whether your pair is heading to the cafe down the street, commuting to work, or just popping by a friend's place, it'll all be one seamless experience. And let's be honest here, we love to see it. Compared to The Sims 4, this is a major leap. The Sims 4 neighborhoods are broken into small zones, and while they look open, the experience is still very segmented. Walking down the street to another neighborhood, loading screen. Visiting a neighbor, loading screen. It breaks the immersion and limits storytelling. Paralives is aiming to eliminate that, and it shows. They're also putting real thought into realism and playability. Pairs won't spend their entire day just walking from point A to point B, so travel times are being carefully balanced. Think 30 to 60 in-game minutes tops to walk somewhere meaningful. Cars are coming later, but for now, your pairs will be getting their steps in. Honestly, I'm more than fine with that. I'm a sucker for walkable cities, or better yet, a good old 15-minute city. It's a refreshing approach, especially when compared to The Sims 4, where your Sims often teleport from place to place, you know, without carpools, without school buses, without fire trucks, without police cars. They are just teleporting. In neighborhoods, they tend to feel kind of like decorative stages than real lived-in spaces. Now let's talk vibes. Because Paralives isn't just giving us a flat, generic town or a vaguely themed backdrop. This town is split into unique districts, and the devs gave us a look at 2 of the main areas in this update. First up, Old Town. It's dense, European-inspired, and utterly charming. We're talking stone townhouses, narrow cobblestone streets, and so much personality. I mean, come on, it's giving, I just moved to a storybook village, and I'm obsessed with it. You can definitely see the influence of the team's home base, Montreal, Quebec, woven into the architecture. But it also feels like it could be at any number of European-inspired cities, and that's what makes it so magical, versatile. Quick side note, if you've never been to Montreal, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely gorgeous and full of that old world charm. I would love to go back myself, maybe one day soon. The second area we got a glimpse of is the industrial district. It's grittier with brick-heavy buildings, old factories, and converted lofts that scream urban artist vibes. You already know I'm making a para who lives in a converted warehouse studio, probably with a rooftop garden and too many vintage records. This part of town actually reminds me a lot of Toronto's Distillery District. Totally realistic and totally cool. This feels like real places that you can find in any Canadian city with history and character. I mean, technically it could be any North American city or European city. That's just the vibe of it. But Canada represent. Come on. Beyond those, there are 2 more districts coming. Forest Mountain, and Rural. Unfortunately, the devs didn't show anything from these areas in the Patreon post, but I have a feeling they'll be equally stunning. I'm picturing small tucked away lots nestled in the mountains, and charming farmhouses dotting the countryside. Now I'm just hoping for farm animals. Can you imagine pairs tending to cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, or ducks? That would be adorable. Especially the ducks. Come on, we gotta get this to happen. And it would perfectly fit with the rural district's aesthetic, or at least what I'm assuming it's gonna look like. I guess all we have to do is wait and see. This is a stark contrast to how The Sims 4 handles world design. The Sims 4 worlds are typically themed: desert, suburban, snowy, etc, etc. But they don't really feel connected. You know what I mean, Jellybean? You load into one area and the rest of the world kind of just fades into the background because you can't really access it from that neighborhood. In Paralives, the world feels interconnected. It's one big town with layers of personality and lived-in vibes. Not just a backdrop for storytelling, but part of the story itself. This is another big difference from The Sims 4, where most worlds are fixed and underdevelopable. Is that a word? I don't know, but yeah, it is underdevelopable by players beyond choosing lots from a world select screen. You can't change the lot sizes, you can't change the backdrop, you can't change like the rabbit hole type places, you can't add or move roads, and editing the world itself is really off limits. Paralives is much more transparent and hands-on when it comes to development, and it looks like players might have more flexibility in how the town evolves over time. I mean, we definitely already know this. It's been a thing. We've talked about this before, but it's nice to confirm that again. They also shared a colored map showing the different town districts along with a sneak peek at their 2D development map in progress. It's fascinating to look at. Each small cell represents 1 square meter, the yellow shapes are buildings and the darker bits are the roads. They're using this to lay out streets, lots, and key points of interest. It's a small section of the town, but it really helps you visualize the overall size. Even in the tiny slice, there are already several buildings in place. Based on that, it looks like the town will be fairly dense in some areas like Old Town and more spread out in areas like the forest or countryside. Overall, the final town is expected to have somewhere between 50 to 70 lots, a mix of residential, public spaces, shops, parks, cafes, and little hangout spots. And all I can say is yes, please. That's exactly the kind of variety we need. And now, the part that gets me the most excited, the build showcase. Leia and Chloe designed a house for the Old Town district, and peeps, it's beautiful. Chloe also put together 2 additional houses to help set up the build in a neighborhood. Anywho, we're talking thick stone walls, classic wooden shutters, S-shaped metal brackets, and even those quirky closed-off windows from back in the day when people were taxed for having too many windows. The detail is unreal. You've got small flags in the town's colors, loose electrical cables on the wall, probably added when cable TV started getting popular, custom street signs, scaffolding, traffic cones, and even an old drinking fountain out front, which would have been used before running water was widely available within homes. It's those tiny details that make the street feel alive, and it all feels so intentional. I love it. This level of detail is what sets Paralives apart. In The Sims 4, while the build-buy system is powerful, most of the neighborhoods and world spaces lack this kind of thoughtful, layered storytelling. Most lots are either empty shells or disconnected from the world around them, and you can't access it, you can't use it, it's not a part of the storytelling. Well, it is in a way, but it's just the backdrop. But in Paralives, every object seems to tell a story of how the town developed. Nothing feels like a filler. I love all of these little details. This build, just like any of their past builds, feels alive, and honestly, it's what I adore most about Paralives. Nothing here feels like a set dressing or filler. Everything feels intentional, like I just said. It was placed with purpose, with a story behind it. The closed off windows, a nod to historical tax laws. The structural brackets in the shape of an S, not just aesthetic, they hint at the age and resilience of the building. Even the little things like the loose cables and weathered drinking fountain, it gives this house its own personality. It's not just a pretty facade. It's a living, breathing neighborhood. You can imagine who used to live there, who might live there now. Maybe an artist who runs a tiny gallery in the Old Town, or a young couple restoring the place room by room. It's that storytelling through architecture that makes Paralives builds feel so immersive, and it's something The Sims 4 often misses, especially since so much of the world is uneditable and static. On the other hand, we've got Paralives. Every corner of this house, every crack in the stone, contributes to the sense of history and depth. It's like the devs aren't just making buildings, they're creating a world you want to get lost in. One important note, all of this is still a work in progress. Everything shown is subject to change. The early access version might look a little different, and the final release could change even more. It's obvious the devs aren't just building a game, they're building a world. One that's explorable, believable, and brimming with personality. One that truly feels lived in. It's what so many Sim fans have been craving for years, especially those who have been hoping for more open-ended, immersive experiences than The Sims 4 currently offers. I can't wait to see more from the different districts, more builds, and honestly, I'm already daydreaming about my Paras jogging through town, running errands, chatting with neighbors, and living real lives in this beautiful imagined world. So, what do you think of the town design? Are you more of an old town, cozy fan, or are you vibing with the edgy industrial loft life? Let me know in the comments. And if you're hyped for Paralives, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for hanging out, and as always, stay happy, healthy, and hydrated. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!